Haha. Okay, so welcome to the first episode of our first ever podcast. And we are very tentative at this moment. We actually had a conversation right now, and nothing is in place, but nothing ever is. So either you start something or you never start something. So we have decided not procrastinate anymore. So here it is, our first episode. And the topic of our first episode is Elon Musk, but we'll come back to that later. Let me give you a little bit background about my friend and myself and how we are connected, why we are doing this. So Muktadir is my friend from middle school. I met him, then we kept on meeting on and off in different places. Many of them were not planned. Right now we are in California and it was not planned. We went to the same junior high. It was not planned. We just met there when we started going to class. So Muktadir has been, more than anything else in the business, has been a mentor to me. I take immense pride in saying whatever I know of the tech business or even tech world, I learned from him. And funnily enough, I think with all that knowledge I have done so far, somehow I have done better than him. So I'm saying that just to make other people understand what I kind of think of Muktadir and why I think he is an important person in the paradigm of the tech world. He is too shy a person to actually probably able to react to any of this, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. Okay, again, formally, hi, how are you doing today?
Hi, Faiyaz. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Good luck with your podcast. I know this.
It's our podcast. Did you already forget?
Okay.
This is our podcast. Every week it's going to happen.
It's still you planned everything, so I haven't done anything about the planning of this podcast. So it still feels like it's your podcast, and I am a guest, but very soon I won't be.
Okay. All right. So a little update for the audience is also what we are doing together right now. So just last year in 2021, we invested a little bit in two companies. One of them is called DevHive. The mission of that company is to provide startups and small businesses, even mid-sized businesses who cannot afford world-class developers to build an app, their website, to run their system, things like that. This is not for the Amazons and Google and Apples of the world. We exclusively work with startups. We work with small companies and mid-sized companies. And this also comes from a need where a lot of these great businesses do not have the capacity to think about how to run tech department in their company. So we take all those baggage out of their back. We recruit people for them. The recruitment, the training, the interview, everything is done by us. And then they get the employees they need. If there is any complaint, we always try to replace the wrong person with the right person. The other company is called CryptoWise, the working title. It's a news platform for everything related to crypto coins, NFTs, blockchain, everything. But that company is moving a little slower than DevHive. But we don't want to talk about our ventures today. The topic of our podcast is obviously Elon Musk. So the richest person in the world just took over Twitter, showed up in Twitter headquarters with that sink in his hand. And just now, news coming out that he's going to charge every Twitter user $8 to be able to use Twitter. So Muktadir, how do you react to that? Twitter becoming paid.
Okay, interesting. I don't follow Elon Musk, but since he took over Twitter, I started following him heavily. I started reading every single of his tweets since he took over, because I really don't care who owns Twitter, but I am following him because it's just fun. It's fun to see what's happening and how rapidly things are changing at Twitter. If you look at his tweets, so how he's trying to convince the users they should be spending $8 for Twitter. He's comparing, okay, when you buy a coffee from Starbucks, you spend $10, but you don't care. But when I'm telling you to spend $8 for Twitter, you are kind of sad or things like that. Now, the problem of this technology is users are already used to having, using Twitter for free. And to like suddenly putting something like a price on that, it's not because users cannot afford it. It's only because they don't like it. And when they don't like something, like somebody is pushing them, do something on a platform, that's a little bit dangerous. So it's not about money. It's about trying to tell users what to do next. He gives that feeling to the users. I really think that's a wrong way to monetize it. And especially if he's going to do that, he's doing it too fast. It should not be this fast. It should not give us a feeling that we are being controlled to do something or we are being praised to do something. Apart from the fun part, so that's my like serious opinion about it.
You know what? This takes me back to the inception of Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg builds Facebook. Nobody knows what it is. Obviously, they themselves, the two founders of the company, didn't know what it is. And his co-founder wants to place advertisements on Facebook on very first day.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, no, we don't even know what it can become. And you put ads on the website right now, because back then it used to be only a website.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll never find out what it can be. It will become another MySpace, another Friendster, another High Five, because that was the right approach, right?
So back then it was not Facebook. They were still like trying to understand what their product was becoming. So before that, if you place an ad, it just becomes an ad platform, like all your focus, and like you then start working to generate more revenue. So you kind of lose focus on your product. So that was a great decision by Zuckerberg.
Yes, exactly my point. So when once in a lifetime you get something that can shift a paradigm in the world, and that is where like people can say so much about Mark Zuckerberg. Maybe he crossed the line multiple times, but one thing we cannot deny, that a lot of social media had actually come by and gone by. Nobody remembers them. He was the only one to see that you can take the social experience of human life, and if you just let people behave naturally, like how they want to behave and what they want on that platform, it can probably work. And people became so addicted to the finished product Twitter, the finished product Facebook. We also used to be like 25, 30-year-old when it was the golden era of Facebook, and we were addicted. To be honest, we're addicted to Facebook. There is no, like, I don't deny. And we never kind of had a moment where we were like, oh, hey, do you know, why are we addicted? Like, we shouldn't do this, do that. It was just the value we are getting, right? Meeting a person, like knowing about them, what they're doing, what their politics is, or what they're like, what makes them happy, what makes them sad. Like, that is invaluable value. No product in the history of mankind actually provided that, where you could connect to people in such a short time without traveling, without having a coffee together, right? And I'm not saying it's all good. There is obviously the dark side of every product. And I'm not a fan of the idea that these things became dark intentionally. When there are billions of dollars involved, when there are advertisements involved, when there are users who are trying to take advantage of these platforms in the political way, to make money, like Elon Musk himself has, I think, intentionally tried to manipulate the prices of some crypto coins just by using Twitter. And back then he was just a user. And there is no denying the fact. It's true. You can use this platform to do a lot of good and at the same time do a lot of bad. So why I'm talking about the inception of Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg denying his co-founder about just ruling out the idea of having ads on Facebook, because it's the same problem what Elon Musk is doing right now. Hey, you want to use Twitter and you need to pay. I don't think that's how it works, because I thought about this today, that what is the user journey for Twitter? So principally, Twitter is for expressing yourself. Historically, it used to be the 140 or whatever, the very, very limited text, right? How you can express yourself. You're having a thought. You want to say that out loud. You don't want to keep that to yourself. It could be a frustration. It could be For me, it could be Real Madrid loss, and I just wanted to express my frustration. And when you blog that, when you put a price tag on that, it's a problem, because at least you need to let people express themselves. And then if you need to see more, follow somebody exclusively or something like that, there could be a price. But I think this is a huge mistake when you ask people, because I have been logged out from my app on Twitter since this happened. That's also news. Now I need to go there. I need to set up a payment and things like that just to log in. But Twitter doesn't work that way. Twitter works in a way where you express, that's how billions of people express themselves. That's why their friends go there or followers come there. I think that's a big mistake. Here is also something I believed has been happening since Elon Musk said that he wanted to buy Twitter. Here is probably an unpopular opinion of mine. I think Elon Musk never actually set out to buy Twitter. It was a stunt for him at the beginning. He just said, okay, I'm going to buy, I have the money. But he got into a situation where not making an offer looked bad, led to another situation where not following up looked bad for him. And then previous management of Twitter kind of made him buy Twitter. It's not a purchase he really wanted to make. He created a huge mess, and he couldn't get out of that with all his reputation intact. So he was like, okay, it's one of the best products in the world, one of the most popular. Let me take over. But I don't think Elon Musk is a service industry kind of guy. He is out and out a manufacturing industry kind of guy. He knows that service industry is it works both ways. You need to listen to your user base all the time. Tesla makes the cars, but it's a different kind of feedback. You almost make 90% of the first product. You give them Tesla. That's how Tesla happened. And people came back with the formula. But obviously, even with the first version, everyone loved the car. Service industry doesn't work like that. You continuously build your product. Everyday users are telling you the data, raw data, right? We live and die for the raw data. People are saying okay, I like this, I like that. I want to follow Kim Kardashian more than anybody else. So there should be focus on that. That's why all these tech companies, service-oriented tech companies, Twitter, Facebook, especially YouTube, think about how much YouTube backs the YouTubers, because they are essentially, data shows big YouTubers are half the reason YouTube exists. YouTube is what it is right now. A normal account cannot add that much value. A big, Mr. Beast, what he has done in last 24 months, incredible. There are so many YouTubers. That's why YouTube has this program where they work with these big YouTubers. They train them, they give them everything they don't have right now to make better content, because they are the most important part of YouTube.
To make it more clear, so whatever you're talking about, so they're when you say service, it's very hard to understand what a service is. So let's, instead of using the term service, we can use these terms. Let's say we have some products and we have some marketplaces. So Tesla is successful because Tesla is a product, but Twitter is not a product. For people, Twitter is a marketplace, and everyone else is trying to sell and buy there. YouTube, it's also a marketplace. So, you can sell your content.
Sorry for interrupting. Yeah. So when you say marketplace, you are essentially talking about buying and selling of time or content, right?
No, it's a platform where you can buy and sell anything. So it can be time or whatever. So people don't really love marketplace. They don't even care about marketplace. So they love products or they hate products. They don't love or hate marketplace. So frankly, nobody hates Twitter. Nobody loves Twitter. It's all about what they can get through this marketplace. So Tesla is successful because people love Tesla. So they can wait for Tesla for 6 months or 1 year. When they crash into some other vehicle, they can wait for 1 month to get the repairs done. Or even they can wait for these replacements, because that's a product. People love that product. Now, Twitter is not a product. So we don't feel love for Twitter. So to be very honest, We go there because we want to follow our idols or like some sports people or some celebrities. We want their update. We want to talk about that.
So we find what we love on that platform. We
Yeah,
don't love the platform. We find what we love on that platform, right?
that's right. And also, like, these marketplaces make money when they show you some ads which you might love. That's how they that's what they sell. They
Interesting.
try to sell similar stuff that you love. So I think here is the mistake that he made, that people won't pay $8 for Twitter to like express their stuff or things like that. People will pay as long as they can have their products. But when you add a price tag to these Twitter accounts, there are like two kinds of users in Twitter. One kind of user who can live anytime. They don't depend on Twitter for their livelihood or something like that. But there are like another type of user who depends on Twitter for their business or livelihood or whatever. So to the second type of user, it's working more like a blackmailing, because you don't have any other way. You're going to lose your revenue if you don't pay Twitter. And that's really very bad impression. And it will like persist for a long time. Like whenever they have a different platform, they'll remember it. And they'll feel insecure that there might be more like future interesting terms to work with Twitter. And people who don't depend on Twitter, like we have seen that many times in the industry in last 20 years, even if they are not needed to even if the platform itself is free, people who don't depend on it, they can switch anytime. That's why people like TikTok stole a lot of users from Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. Because you give a better marketplace to them, and as they don't love the marketplace, they can anytime go to a new marketplace. And if they find something interesting there, they stay there. So yeah, so that's the distinction between Tesla and Twitter. Twitter is not a product.
Yeah, exactly my point. So do you agree, like if I wanted to talk in hypotheticals, I think Elon Musk would make a fantastic product manager for iPhones.
Yeah,
But
he would be like an ideal like CEO for
exactly right. That was my feeling. Like he is probably the worthy successor of Steve Jobs. But
right.
if he thinks he can go to Twitter or Facebook or TikTok, it's a different beast.
Yeah, and definitely. So do we actually know who is the CEO of YouTube? Very few people know about him.
Exactly. You're right. Yep.
Because that's not a product, so people don't care about actually YouTube or who made the YouTube. But we know who created iPhone. We know who created, let's say, Game of Thrones.
That's very interesting. Like, if we go out there and ask people who founded Apple, I think 90% people in the United States will be able to answer that question. We go out there and we ask them, hey, tell us the names of the founders of Google. I think at least 70% will fail.
Yeah, and if you ask for YouTube, so YouTube is a big marketplace. Let's forget about YouTube. Google is a big thing.
Yeah, YouTube will be 1%. 1%, even not less than one. I think less than 1% will be able to.
So think about YouTube, which is probably the most known term in the whole world. Yeah, if you think about how many people knows about a word, I think after God or something it would be in the top 10 words list. YouTube.
Not Google?
No, not even Google. So people really? Even might not know that YouTube is owned by Google. So
no, I'm saying for words, like known words. Like you think YouTube supersedes Google?
Probably. Yeah, probably. I don't have that data, but that's my instinct.
What about Facebook as a word? Facebook is more popular
because many people use the Messenger, and probably they don't know that it's owned by Facebook. So that word is a little different. So we need data. But what I am trying to say, a lot of people probably a billion people knows about YouTube, but they don't know who made YouTube. But all the people who knows about Tesla or iPhone, they know who made
Steve Jobs and Elon Musk.
Because these are products that they love. So they want to know more about who made the product or what's coming next. So no one is worried about what's coming in Facebook too.
That's very interesting. Yeah. So are you saying with a tangible product comes a very powerful individual who must be known by everybody, and with
It's a very common pattern. It doesn't have to be tangible product. It can be intangible. But the thing that I am trying to say is, so when you have a product and people loves the product, they want to know more about it. That's it. Like who sells the product or who builds the product. So they feel interested in that. But when you have a marketplace, nobody cares. Even you go to that marketplace every day. Nobody cares who owns the market. That's the difference. And now Elon Musk is trying to sell Twitter as a product. So that's the most difficult part. I mean, probably he can eventually do it if he can give some great kind of service that people will start love Twitter itself. But that seems a very impossible task to me. So nobody.
Let me ask you this: do you think after so much success or money or whatever power, did Elon Musk get lazy and started to overestimating himself?
I'm not really sure, because when you have so much power in your...
The reason I asked, you cannot build a company like Tesla. You cannot plan SpaceX if you are a lazy person, if you are an unrealistic person. But what he is doing right now definitely says that somewhere down the line, the person couldn't handle the kind of success he had. And he started to overestimate himself in saying, hey, I can just go to a company like Twitter and run it.
It can be that, but I think what happened here, initially, he didn't give it a good thought.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So,
like I told you,
by the time...
I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, but by the time he knew that he shouldn't buy it, he was stuck. So now whatever he's doing right now, I think it's not well planned. So he didn't even probably have any plan to how to monetize Twitter.
So firing the CEO and CFO of Twitter on the first day, is that a mistake, or should have Elon Musk be like, hey dude, here I am, I don't know what happened or whatever that is, let's work together, let's try to find out for 15 days.
Yeah.
Since you know the product so well, I let you run it, you have my values or whatever that is, let's try to make it more successful.
I think it's a mistake, not because he fired them. It's a mistake because he didn't take enough time to make decisions, or probably even to make plans. I suspect everything that he's doing now is not well planned.
It so appears like vindictive, like it's not business, like it looks like a child's emotions. Why I say that, because you usually do not, you can play around with, I think, $200 million or something like that. But when $42 billion are at stake, his actions have been very irresponsible if you think about the future of Tesla and SpaceX, because now everybody knows this is a person you can drag into emotions or in a flow of communication where he will probably lose his path. He's not so cool and calm and knows his limitations, and like Steve Jobs, never thought beyond Apple. Even when he got fired, he was working with everything else. He built Pixar and whatever that is. His vision was always to come back to Apple and do extraordinary things. Mark Zuckerberg, even though metaverse fails or whatever happens, I don't know. I do not have enough. Nobody. I don't think anybody has, but has never thought beyond Facebook. Jeff Bezos hardly thinks beyond, his priority is Amazon. I think that's where Elon Musk is probably not as wise as them.
I really don't understand why he, for the first time, he even wanted to buy Twitter. So...
he never did. My version is, he just said, hey, I have enough money, I'm going to buy it because you are pissing me off.
So it was probably something like that. So he got into some kind of interaction with Twitter that led him to make such decision. But I don't think it was a business decision. So that's what I was talking about. When you come in and fire the whole management team, so either you have a very clear vision what you're going to do, and this whole team doesn't align with your vision, so you can fire them. Simply that requires clarity when you fire a whole department or team. That means you exactly know what's wrong with the team, and you are pretty sure that this team is like a cancer to your whole organization, so you just have to cut it off.
Did he fire the CTO? Let me Google it. That's very interesting. CDO of Twitter, right or not? October 29. Twitter's fired CEOs. That's Parag Agarwal. That's the CEO. I don't think there is a news about the CTO getting fired. So at least
Not yet.
that's the saving grace, I guess.
I mean, if you fire the CTO, you kind of, that's like destroying the product. So nobody fires the CTO. I have never heard of it.
That's good to know. That's probably very good news for you.
CTO job is probably the safest job in tech business.
That's good news for you. That's probably your future.
I don't know. So yeah, in that way, yeah, I feel safe. But yeah, the thing is, I don't think he has a clear vision with Twitter. So in that regard, firing these people is a mistake because he's firing them without any goal, like what he wants to achieve. So his immediate goal is to make Twitter look profitable. But that might happen for some time. So it might look profitable, but without a clear vision what he wants to do next, it might destroy itself. So
We have been talking for half an hour. Let's do a rapid fire. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question really quick. You have to be very fast. Like you cannot take time, like whatever is top of your mind. Okay.
Okay, sure.
So greatest CEO in the tech history. So Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk.
No, of course.
Take that much time.
Jeff Bezos.
Okay. You cannot take that much time. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. You get the same offer from a few companies. Let's say they're offering you a package of annual, whatever, base salary of $10 million, whatever. Two companies come along. The offers are from number one, Amazon, number two, Apple. Who do you join?
Apple.
Okay. That was quick. Good. All right. Is Silicon Valley going to be Silicon Valley 10 years from now?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I was not expecting
I
that.
strongly believe that, even with all the issues we have now.
Wow. That's something. All right. So is it good to come from a struggling family financially or a very well-off family to be a better businessman?
No
you
answer.
cannot take that much time.
No answer.
Okay. So I'll take that as that doesn't depend on that. All right.
Because it depends on adversity, and adversity there can be adversity when you're rich, there can be adversity when you're poor. Or like even if you're poor, you can have a good life. So it doesn't make you anything.
All right. Makes sense. All right. So I think we did good. So we covered a lot of ground in half an hour. We probably have been a little controversial, but nevertheless, like I think we are not out of the line or something like that. So let's see what happens. We'll see the audience next week. Hopefully we'll be more prepared. We'll have something. We also want to hear from the audience. If anybody watches this or listens to this podcast, what they want to talk about. If somebody wants to come on as a guest, that's you are most welcome. Just let us know. We are technically kind of like financing this podcast from Devive, that company. So would be very happy to help. If somebody you know that needs a team of developers, or if you want developer or something like that, you reach out to me. I'll leave my email address everywhere below this episode. So yeah, Muktadir, this feels weird because I call you something else, but I want to go by first name basis. I don't want to confuse the world with all the nicknames and things like that. So yeah, so thank you so much. I think we did good. I'm surprised we did good in half an hour, unprepared. So
yeah, sure.
Good start.
And that's it. So do we need any closing remarks or anything about this?
Please go on.
When I started, I was thinking what I should talk about, but I started like in the middle. It became a discussion.
You know the funny thing, what I thought from the morning, with everything we did in life, in last 15 years, probably we never had the chance to have a discussion. It was either about our business or personal life, solving a problem. It was not just for the sake of talking. It never happened in the last 15 years. I'm sure. So I was like, no, today we are going to do that. We are going to break that streak. We're going to go there. We're going to have a conversation where we have nothing to lose, nothing to gain, just for the
Yeah.
sake of it.
Yep, sure. I think we achieved that today.
It feels weird because we are always talking about, hey, where the next like $1 is going to come from or something like that. So it's a refreshing change. All right. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next week.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.